The roller coaster year that was 2018 has come and gone, and in this week's episode, we take a look at the ups and downs of 2018. This is Advanced Level, a video game podcast, and the podcast starts right now. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Advanced Level, a video game podcast. My name is Felipe Prada. Joined with me is Oscar Portillo. Oscar, what's going on, man? It feels like it's been a while since we last spoke.
Yeah, I'm good, Felipe. I'm just had to move around a little bit, so that's why we had to be MIA.
Yeah, we were in a little bit of a hiatus.
Right.
Especially
with the holidays.
Yeah, with the holidays, we did a lot of gaming. The last time we really spoke was right before Black Friday, or was after Black Friday.
I think it was after.
Yeah, it was a little bit after Black Friday, and to be honest with you, I made out like a bandit this holiday season with games.
Oh, what'd you get?
I ended up sticking to the list, and I actually ended up getting the games that I said that I was going to get. I ended up getting Overwatch finally.
Okay.
I ended up.
Yeah, we've been playing.
Yeah, we've been playing. Which season just passed?
13. We went to 14.
Okay,
now.
So now we just started on season 14. I ended up getting Assassin's Creed Odyssey for $15.
Wow, that's a steal.
Yeah, that once I saw it, I'm like, okay. And it's funny because if you hadn't sent me that message, I probably would have missed it.
Yeah, I saw it right away, and I knew that you were looking for it.
Yeah, so I appreciate the lookout. And surprisingly enough, and I don't know how you're gonna feel about this, so I'm gonna tell you, and I'll let you give it a minute.
Okay.
For it to sink in. I actually ended up picking on the PlayStation Store. I ended up getting Star Wars Battlefront 2 for a whopping. You ready?
Yeah.
$7.49.
Wow.
At that point, I thought to myself, I honestly don't think it can get any lower than that price.
How cheaper can it get?
Yeah.
I might as well give it for free.
And that's pretty much been my holidays. How about yours?
I bought on Black Friday. I bought Detroit. But with the moving around and stuff, I haven't even downloaded it.
Also, you bought it digital?
Yeah, from Amazon.
Okay.
It's like $20 or something. For some reason, it was like a few dollars cheaper on Amazon than PSN.
Yeah, man. Amazon this year was absolutely ridiculous with their pricing, especially for Black Friday and the holidays.
Right.
I was able to pick up 2 games on Amazon for literally $30.
And you said.
Yeah, one of them was relatively new. One of them, and the other 2, well, one of them was on the PlayStation Store, but Overwatch, obviously, what is it, 2 years old now?
Yeah.
So 2-year-old game. I was
2 or 3 years old.
Yeah, I was still able to pick it up for $15. I picked up a relatively new game for $15.
Right.
So I'm thinking to myself, wow, like there's no need, especially games that are close to the holidays. Like there really is no need to pick it up because eventually it's going to go on sale. What really shocked me, well, it kind of did, but it didn't. Fallout 76 was down to, the cheapest I saw was $33.89.
Yeah, but that's been the bomb of the year.
And you know what? I'm glad you said that because obviously, 2018, Jesus Christ, man, it felt like it was one of those blink and you miss it moments. Like I just felt like we just started 18 and it just came and went.
Yeah. I mean, that's comes with age, I think.
Oh man.
I'm sorry to say that. That's what...
No, you're absolutely right. I thought to myself, 2018 is going to be a good year. I still remember all the announcements. Next thing you know, I'm literally watching the Game Awards.
Right.
And at that point, the year's over.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Even though we're in 2019, I figured we still take a look back at the ups and downs of 2018. And
it's only 4 days.
We both know 2018 was a real roller coaster of a year.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question, right?
Okay.
2017, in my opinion, was the year of anti-consumer monetization. At least I feel that's how 2017 was viewed as in the gaming industry.
I can't disagree.
What do you think 2018 was best known for?
I mean, I know there was a lot of good games. I mean, I think just a year of really good games.
See,
I know there's been downs, but there's been really good games.
I think it's been kind of equal as far as ups and downs. But for some strange reason, then again, this is just me. I do feel that this year, not this year, 2018, was the year of unnecessary controversies.
Explain.
Well, we had Puddlegate. which I thought was unnecessary. We had, of course, the World Health Organization categorizing gaming as an actual disorder.
Okay.
And unfortunately, we had, the Jacksonville shooting, which
Right. But that's
it hits close to home.
right.
The stuff like this shouldn't happen. And obviously, you had mentioned one. We had sort of the bomb of the year, or most disappointing / bomb, which was Fallout 76. And that just goes to show you, how the hell did Fallout 76 beat out Metal Gear Survive for worst game of the year?
I mean, from what I understand, it's not the bugs; it's just the game itself.
Right.
It's not good.
I mean, but remember, they said the same thing about No Man's Sky. They say the same thing about Final Fantasy XIV. They said the same thing about Elder Scrolls Online. So in its current state, yeah, there are some people who are enjoying the game, and I'm happy to hear that even though amongst this sort of this controversy, that people are still finding ways to enjoy the game, and I'm really happy to hear that. But at the same time, you have to admit, Bethesda really effed that one up.
Yeah, they definitely did.
And I'm not even talking about only the game. I'm talking about the way
they hyped it up.
The Armored Edition. The one with
I mean, but I know where you're going with this. Go ahead.
No, I mean, obviously they marketed one thing or they promoted one thing, and then the consumers got something completely different, and they ended up giving special treatment to the YouTube influencers, which I don't feel like that was right. They knew about it. They knew about the shortage.
I agree with. Yeah.
They knew about everything. They chose not to say anything, and they were hoping that people would kind of not notice. But boy, if there's one thing the internet does, it notices.
Yes.
You can't, and see, that's the thing. Gamers nowadays are more sophisticated now than ever before. You're not going to be able to pull a fast one on us. Not without us calling you out.
Well, let me ask you a question. Because there's a rumor, the next Skyrim is going to come out.
Yes, I did hear that as well.
You mentioned No Man's Sky.
Right.
And now it's a different game. Does Bethesda have to stick with Fallout 76?
If they are to maintain their credibility, because let's face it, their credibility is shot right now.
I don't think so. I think it's on the ropes. I think the next game has to deliver, but I don't think all of a sudden Bethesda's garbage company.
No. They're not a garbage company, but after what happened with Fallout 76, right? Let's take a look at the next Elder Scrolls.
Right, it was Elder Scrolls, I'm sorry.
If you, as a consumer, now I'm talking mainly from a consumer's point of view, do you honestly think I'm going to go with the next Elder Scrolls after what they did with Fallout 76?
I think, not necessarily, but I think they still have the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, and you know what? And I'm glad you're bringing this up because it's two sides of the same coin, right? At least the way I'm looking at it. Businesses are in it to make money, and Bethesda is still a top-tier developer. They're still up there.
That's my point. A lot of people are bashing them, but look at they put out one bad game. Look at the rest of the stuff that they released. Yeah, it's one game that didn't deliver. Okay, that's fine. I get that. But all of a sudden, people are like, "Oh, they suck," and this and that, and I just don't.
Especially the community. All it takes is one bad game. You know that. I mean, look what
I know, but it's not fair because again, look at their past year before Fallout 76.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. It isn't fair, but unfortunately, the community.
But what my question: do they have to stick with Fallout 76?
Yeah, I believe they still have to stick with Fallout 76
and drill down on it
and bring it because if there's one trend that I've noticed, right? You have your Destiny. You have, even with Tom Clancy's The Division, Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. You have Fallout 76, No Man's Sky, another Tom Clancy game, Rainbow Six Siege, For Honor. I can give you a list of games that in their initial release was completely panned by the community. Whether it be lack of content, bugs, the game just didn't have it. 1 to 2 years later, the game is a completely different game. So I'm going to stick with Fallout 76 on this one because within 1 year, I do honestly believe that this game will be the game that Bethesda originally wanted to release. And that's that trend we've been seeing. Although it's kind of been a garbage game in the beginning, and we've witnessed it firsthand.
Yeah, we know it's not a good game right now as it stands.
And
we know.
You called it. Remember, when I had told you, hey, I'm really excited about Fallout 76, what did you do? You kind of reeled it in a little bit. You're like, listen, This is their first kind of venture into this type of game. You're gonna want to wait. The game's gonna be buggy. The game's not gonna be, and you know what? You called it. Exactly what you had said was exactly what happened, right? So to sort of add to your point, of course, whenever it comes to this sort of online only game where it's kind of like a game as a service, you know what? You have to sort of keep your expectations in check, and you have to know what you're getting yourself into.
Right.
And then once you buy the game, go to a GameStop and then just tear it apart. That's not how things work.
Right. I mean, but they should stick with it for now.
They need to double down on Fallout 76. They need to take a deep look within themselves and say, listen, we were not happy with the level of quality that this game produced. So we're going to do whatever it is that we have to do and give you the game that we feel like you guys deserve.
I mean, that's what it sounds like.
You know, once they figure that out, then they can go and say, okay, this is what we have planned for Elder Scrolls and the new Starfield game I think they're developing as well.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, but other than that, they need to really focus on Fallout 76 first, because it being such a big franchise and receiving pretty much the most disappointing game / bomb of the year, that's not acceptable.
Right.
I mean, it's only one game, but all it takes is just one game.
They can recover, but they definitely have to work at it.
Yeah, they definitely have to work at it. Like I said, I still don't know how Fallout 76 managed to beat Metal Gear Survive. And you know what? I'm not even ashamed to admit that I've put at least over 40 hours into Metal Gear Survive.
Yeah, I don't know how you did that. When they nickel and dime you.
No, well, then again, because I knew from the very beginning what I was getting myself into. There was
I don't think you knew you were going to have to pay for
a save slot.
Right.
that I wasn't expecting. You know, and the thing that really got me upset about that game was the fact that it had moments of brilliance. Little split seconds. And then you could almost pinpoint the exact moment when Konami got involved.
Right.
And it's like, oh, you came so close. Why would you do that? You know, and another game that was just monetized to all holy hell. Listen, if they would have released the game as a free-to-play game, maybe it wouldn't have received that much backlash.
It's possible, but I still think just because Kojima's not involved, the game was dead before.
Yeah, it was literally dead on arrival. I still had hope for it. Surprisingly enough, the Metal Gear Survive community is keeping that game alive.
I mean, that's fine. I mean,
that's good. That's really good.
But
yeah,
it's hard to support a company that does stuff like that.
Oh man, it's such a shame too, because I'm thinking to myself, would they have received that much backlash if they would have released the game as a new IP?
Well, that's what some people said. Why didn't they just reskin the game to something else?
I think it would have been a little bit more successful rather than just slapping the Metal Gear Survive moniker on it or the Metal Gear franchise moniker on it and just say, oh, here's a new game. No, that doesn't work that way. But like I said, I had my fun with the game. Do I plan on going back? Yeah, maybe. But as of right now, you know, there's just way too many.
Right. You can't, when you have Assassin's Creed, Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, man. I mean,
you're not going to go back to that.
And as much as we had like those two, I think those two are the biggest, I guess, downs of the year. Okay. And we can go through the controversies and all this other stuff. But as many downs as we had some of the best games of this console generation. They all came.
It's questionable, but you can definitely put it up in that conversation.
I mean, come on. We had Marvel Spider-Man. We had God of War, which was Game of the Year, and you called it again.
I did call it. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I know. I'm giving you credit where credit's due. All right, you called Fallout 76 and you called God of War, and we had Red Dead Redemption 2, which won. I don't know. As a matter of fact, I don't even know how many awards they won, and I'm really, really, really upset that Spider-Man didn't get not one award.
In a year that Red Dead comes out and God of War, it's hard to. I mean, you're right. It should have won something, but it's tough to come out above those two.
Like I said, Red Dead Redemption 2, they have... I'm not even going to say that they sort of raised the bar on open world games. They created this new, I guess, standard of open world games. As large as the game is, and this is sort of it's not really a warning, but it's a little bit of a... Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I would say it's a little bit of a warning because the people who ask me, is Red Dead Redemption 2 worth picking up? And I always tell them, listen, the game is a slow burn. It is if you're thinking Grand Theft Auto in the Western world, no, it's completely different. I've been kind of splitting my time between Red Dead Redemption 2 and Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and being able to switch between the two, you appreciate a game like Red Dead Redemption 2 and it being able to slow everything down to a crawl.
I've heard some complaints though about the mechanic, like the mechanics of it. It's almost too slow.
See, but that's the thing. They're right. In a sense, they are correct. The game is like I'm not exaggerating when I tell you the game is slow. That's not an exaggeration.
I haven't played the game, so I can't tell you, but that's what I've read. That, again, to some people it's fine, to others it's a little almost too quote unquote real.
Yeah, and it's funny because one of my friends asked me, "Is the game realistic?" And we can go into this topic could be its own podcast.
Right.
My opinion, I don't think it's realistic enough.
So you're on the other side.
I am exactly. We have some people on one side of the spectrum which are saying it's too realistic. Then there's individuals like me, the crazy ones, saying, "Yeah, it's not realistic enough."
You want to smell the gunpowder.
I mean, the mechanics alone, you have to actually put on winter clothes when you're in the mountains.
Yeah, so what I read, Assassin's Creed Odyssey is the fun version of Red Dead Redemption.
You know what? That's the best way to put it. And since I'm splitting my time between the two, I can see the differences, and I appreciate both sort of game because they're literally on the opposite end of the spectrum.
Right.
One is really fun. It's open world. It's exaggerated, and then you have Red Dead Redemption, which is grounded in reality. It's slow. But I appreciate it. The hunting, the level design, the story pacing, and oh my god, the stranger encounters. Some of the best gameplay mechanics you will see in any open world game. What do I mean by stranger encounters? When you're just thrown out into the open world, a lot of it's not really explained to you. You have to kind of discover it on your own.
Right.
And sometimes you'll run into a person, and that's pretty much a stranger. They're called strangers. It's an encounter, and every encounter is unique. And I'll give you one example. You go to a town, I think it's Valentine or Strawberry, I forgot which town. And there's this guy walking down the street yelling out somebody's name. The guy's name is Gavin. He's yelling out his name. You get off your horse, and you figured, hey, why not? I'll humor this guy. What's going on? Oh, I'm looking for my friend. Have you seen him? No, I have not. Okay, let me continue looking for him. You leave the town, you leave him be, and you kind of forget about it. A couple of hours in, you're in another town, you meet the same individual, and he's still looking for this guy. And he still hasn't found him. And he asks you, have you seen him? I've been looking for him for days now. And the guy's like, really, man? He'll say, listen, I don't know where the guy is. I'm pretty sure he's dead by now. Give up. No, I'll find him. I'll find him. Weeks go by. You're in the opposite end of the map. Guess who you run into? You run into this guy again. He's still looking for this guy. And there's a level of detail and there's a level of almost obsessive detail that these games give. And there's another encounter. You're just, riding down the road. You see a guy trying to, I guess, he's readjusting, I guess, the hoof,
right,
the horse. And the horse just kicks him in the face, and that's it. The horse runs away, and the guy's dead in the middle of the road. Now, what do? Do you leave him? Do you loot the body? Do you become the good guy and sort of have your own makeshift burial? What do? It's these little things, and you encounter them all over the world, all over the map. These little individual stories. And I wish that more open world games would sort of take this, it's not only about the main quest, it's not only about the side quest, it's about these short individual experiences. Because technically that's what it is. And that's how Red Dead Redemption has sort of taken the open world to that next level. Because it's not only about the main quest and the side quest, it's about all these little things. And then you have the hunting and the fishing and all this other stuff on top of it. Because I'll be honest, even the main story kind of gets lost a little bit in the world.
Well, I mean, those games you could easily lose yourself in just what you're doing.
Yeah,
You go do something else, and then
there's no, oh, let me just try to take on one quest. No, 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 no. That's not happening, because you could be taking on one quest and you can encounter a stranger. And then you have the other side, which is Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is, it's historically accurate, but let me tell you, I raved about how good Assassin's Creed Origins was. This game pretty much just took Assassin's Creed Origins and just built on top of it.
and Origin is to some people the best Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, because it took the Assassin's Creed franchise and it evolved it. And a lot of people had their criticism about Assassin's Creed Origins, but there was no other place for this franchise to go than Assassin's Creed Origins. If it didn't do what Assassin's Creed Origins did, the franchise pretty much would have failed, I think. You can see why these games were nominated for Game of the Year.
Do you remember what the best PlayStation Plus game was? I know you're gonna make a list of like the how much it got worth, but off the top of your head, what do you think is one of the best games?
PlayStation Plus games? Oh, that is a very good question. We had
I
a
know
lot of good...
we had a good year as far as that
Yeah,
goes.
PlayStation. I feel like this year. No, I'm sorry, not this year. 2018.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
PlayStation Plus, they really gave out some really good games this year.
Yeah, we definitely got
Not
money.
this. I keep saying this year, 2018.
I know.
It's going to take a while for me to break out of that mentality. But yeah, we got a lot of really good games. The one game that stood out to me, I think it was Yakuza Kiwami. I think was the one game that really stood out. That is like a AAA level game.
Well, they in the same month.
What did we get that month? We got Yakuza Kiwami and we got Bulletstorm.
Yeah.
And we got Bulletstorm too.
Just those two games right there. We got Mafia 3.
That's right. I forgot about
I haven't even
Mafia
touched
3.
that game.
Yeah, I started playing it, and then unfortunately, Spider-Man came out. And see, that's the thing. We got so many, not even like the AAA games. Between that and PlayStation Plus, you had a constant stream of just good games.
Friday the 13th.
Which we played a lot of. Which
Right.
Another game that's pretty much underrated. And I believe I wrote an article on levelbasedgaming.com about how underrated that Friday the 13th game was.
Earlier in March, we got Ratchet and Clank and Bloodborne, which I don't have to tell you how good Bloodborne is.
Oh, of course. I have to go back and really try to complete that game 100%. Because I know there's so much stuff that I'm missing in that game.
Beyond Two Souls. I played that, and I really wanted to like that game. I got through maybe halfway, and I was like, I just...
No, and surprisingly enough, a lot of other people felt the same way. I felt the same way about that game.
Well, that timeline thing...
Oh, the timeline jump, you going back and forth? Yeah, that kind of threw me off.
I don't know, did you play Trials?
No, I did not get a chance to play Trials.
I mean, it's a fun game, but, we tried to play Laser League, and just...
Well, Laser League, it was a good game.
It is.
But the matchmaking was horrendous.
Yeah, man.
And I think that's really what kind of took me out of wanting to continue with that game. Because I got pretty far. I forgot what level I was at, and just being able to sort of keep track of everything that's going on the screen, it was one of those type of games. And I'm like, wow, this is actually a pretty good game.
I remember we played a few matches, and we had some fun with it.
But that was it. That's as far as we got. We couldn't get any more matches because we couldn't find any.
Right. There was 1 month, Destiny 2 and God of War remastered. God of War 3 remastered.
Right. And you know what? Maybe it's because I have that wound, that cut from the original Destiny, that I just couldn't get into Destiny 2.
It's still too fresh.
And I'm thinking to myself, I sat down and I'm like, okay, I'm going to play through Destiny 2. I'm going to sort of wipe my brain from what happened previously.
And you couldn't.
For some strange reason, I just couldn't. The way that game is designed, there's just something that's missing. Now,
yeah, I didn't even touch it, and I liked it. I'll say I like the first Destiny.
We put our time into
but you have a vendetta against Destiny.
Well,
I liked it, but I didn't even touch it.
Do you know why I had?
I know. You can explain, but I know why.
It just boils down to the pre-orders.
Right.
I pre-ordered the game. I pre-ordered the expansion pass on the same day, which was kind of my fault. And then the DLC was just complete garbage. And at that point, that game alone, I'll say it once and I'll say it again, That game alone completely changed the way I bought games. No more pre-orders for me.
Well, you've been a little iffy on that lately.
Well, no, you're right. I have pre-ordered games, but I pre-ordered Spider-Man only because they were actually giving me money to pre-order the game.
Right, no, I remember.
Red Dead Redemption 2, it was because it was just going to take me forever to download the game. So I figured, I'm not going to have the multi-discs in my library.
Right.
This is in 2001. So I figured, let me just...
That's Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah,
right?
that's Final Fantasy level. So I'm like, let me just pre-order the game and just let it download.
Right, you can pre-download it.
Yeah, you preload it or whatever you call it. And surprisingly enough, it didn't take anywhere as near as long as I thought it would.
Right, I remember.
And God of War, I actually bought. It wasn't the day of. I think it was like 2 or 3 days after it released.
I was gonna wait to buy it the next day, and I was like, screw it, I'll just buy it online, buy it on PSN.
It's God of War, though.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
It's God of War.
I bought it. That's the only game I bought full price on PSN.
It's worth it, though. It's worth it.
Yeah, of course, it's worth it. Like, I think it's the only game I'm always gonna leave on my hard drive.
Yeah. There's those few games that you know you're just going to leave. Like right now, Bloodborne is that game.
Yeah.
I have left that game on my hard drive. I refuse to delete that game. I've even deleted The Witcher 3 in order to make room for other games. Bloodborne stays on my hard drive no matter what.
I've heard there's a difference between the disc and downloaded version. Is there any truth to that?
I wouldn't know. To be honest with you, I don't know what the differences would be.
Yeah, I don't think it is. But yeah, it's been a really good year as far as PlayStation Plus. I haven't even played Bulletstorm or a bunch of these games. Ratchet and Clank I haven't played.
Oh, you have to play Ratchet and Clank. It is Insomniac. They have this really weird formula on just making good games.
Yeah, that's all they do.
That's it. Like their formula, like if you look at a piece of paper, it just says make good game. That's it. And there's just one checkbox. Like, all right, we're done.
Yeah, I mean, I want to play that. I'd even go back to God of War 3 Remastered. So, you're right, Bloodborne is one game I have the DLC for it. I want to get through that. I fired that up for a while, and then Horizon I have to get back.
And, getting back to Insomniac, right? And I just want to touch up on it, really quickly. And what they were able to do with Spider-Man, which is a game that I am actually close to 100%ing for the second time.
Wow, the second time.
For the second time. That's not including the DLC.
I think both pieces are out now.
All 3 of them are out now. Because there's three DLC. For me to go and 100% a game 2 times, I've only done that once.
And what's that?
Final Fantasy VII.
Okay.
Spider-Man was able to do something. Well, I wouldn't say it did something because, the Arkham series kind of brought the comic book hero game to the forefront.
Right.
Spider-Man just took that formula and just made it better.
Yeah, they just turned it up to 11.
Yeah, so Insomniac was like, how can we take our formula and just make a game better? And that's exactly what they did. Now, everybody was complaining, it's just, the Arkham series with the Spider-Man skin. Listen, you name me one game out there that's not a copy of another.
Yeah, but it's easy to... And even the initial trailers did look a little bit like that.
Yeah, and I was perfectly fine with that. And after playing it, I'm like, oh my god, this game
obviously something else.
This game was just absolutely near perfect. And, that just goes to show you some developers just have that formula of just cranking out hit after hit after hit.
Yeah.
Insomniac, Rockstar. And then name another one. Can't say Bethesda because they kind of faltered on one.
From Software?
From Software. Santa Monica Studios. They just know how to crank out these games. Blizzard. We've been playing Overwatch. And I am absolutely baffled at how simplistic that game is, but it is so good.
You're preaching to the choir.
Because guess what? After playing as long as I have, either you're defending a point, attacking a point, or escorting a payload. That is it. That's all you got to do. There's nothing else to do. But you want to keep playing.
Right.
And not many games have sort of that simplistic design, and people just want to keep playing.
This may be at the top for another podcast, but I've been reading a little bit, and some analysts have been saying that there's a rumor going around that Overwatch maybe go with free-to-play.
Now, how would that work?
And maybe we shouldn't go down that rabbit hole now, but...
No, we won't, but it's It's interesting. It would go free to play. I'm just trying to think how that would work.
That and Blackout, the Call of Duty.
What I didn't like about Blackout, and this is, Activision with their, greedy tactics. I didn't realize this had happened until Mario brought it up in a conversation. Once the game was released, it got really good reviews. It got really good scores.
Right.
After all the reviews had taken place, all the reviews were posted, they got nice scores, then they released the loot boxes.
So after the fact.
After, wait until the reviews, and then we hit them with the microtransactions, which I think wasn't
Now,
right.
what do you know what is included in those?
As far as the loot boxes, I'm not sure. I haven't played Blackout. I haven't really been watching the streams, but I know a lot of people were upset about it.
Again, because for me, and I think for you too, the line is cosmetics.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it being just cosmetics. I'm perfectly fine with it.
Now, if we're talking a red dot site or attachments or guns, that's different. If it's just cosmetics, skins or whatever.
Yeah, once it starts going down the road of it starts to impede on the gameplay, if it starts to become a pay-to-win formula, that's when, there's a problem with that. And
So that's what I've been reading is those two games might go free to play.
And they're both good games, though. So why not try it out?
Especially Overwatch. Overwatch has been out for a while at this point.
Yeah, but, oh my God, it is just too good, though. It is too good.
I'm trying to tell you, man.
I know. You were telling me to get it, and I was like, no, I want to wait, but you know what?
You were at a point where I thought last year you were going to get it, and then I don't know what happened.
I'm just such ashamed of myself because I'm thinking to myself, why didn't I get this sooner?
And you're right, the formula is so simple, but
I think also
the heroes.
Yeah, the character design. I really love the character design. It's colorful. It stands out.
And I don't know if you remember, we played the beta one time.
Yes, you're right.
And I was like, I didn't like it at all.
I remember that. I remember you saying, "Oh man, I don't know. I just didn't like it." Man, how wrong you were.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I think I played like a free trial or something, and then I bought it later on, like Christmas. And then, I put all these hours and days into it.
You had to let it grow on you, which it did.
I think it's one of those games that, no, for me, it hit me. You're right, I didn't like it at first, but once I played the free, I think they had a free trial or something, and
Yeah,
I knew I always wanted to get, after that, and I think I always wanted to get that game from that point.
Right, I do remember. Yeah, I do remember you
Christmas.
saying that. Yeah.
But I think this 2018, it's been some good games, and it's gonna go down as one of those years that we remember.
Yeah, because like I said, we're towards the final stretch of the PlayStation 4 generation. I mean, we still haven't released Ghost of Tsushima. Oh my God, I can never say it right. Ghost of Tsushima. We still haven't released The Last of Us 2. We're still waiting for Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice.
Mm-hmm.
And we're literally at the final lap of that console generation. So it's like it's only getting better.
Yeah, this is if history has shown us, this is when some of the best games are going to come out. And The Last of Us 2, just by itself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really, really not shocked. It really shouldn't surprise me how good 2018 was. And like you said, not only the AAA games, but like how you pointed out, the PS Plus games.
Right.
There was at one point, and our backlog is just increasing by the month. Literally, it's increasing. I've had to delete so many games because there's just not enough room.
Yeah.
For all, and you don't have enough time to play all of them.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the thing that sucks is they're all good games.
We try to take the strategy of I'll focus on one game.
No, that's not gonna work.
You have to try something. You have to try.
Because look,
I don't like the fact I've been meaning, I really want to try to finish some of these games because it sucks and you want to experience these games. It's not just playing; you want to experience them.
And I'll give you a perfect example. We're already in January, right? January 2019, and it's like, oh, I have Red Dead Redemption 2. I have Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Oh, wait, they just gave us Steep as part of the new. Oh, let me play that for a little bit. And it's like, oh, why? Why do I do this to myself?
That's why I was I played it for a few minutes. I was like, no, because it's gonna. it's just going to be another investment that I just don't want to give right now.
Not because it's a bad game. It's just that
Yeah,
you
it
have
looks
to.
cool. It looks cool. You said it right. It's a nice mix of arcade and sim.
And what sucks is I'm having like too much fun with this game.
But I started going into teaching me the tricks. I was like, no,
I can't do this right now.
yeah, once R2 and do this and that. Like, nah, it's another. And I saw the trophy list. I was like, come on, man, like. And there's trophies for each DLC pack,
Yeah, yeah.
and those are long. It's like I just know, I just don't have the time to start something else
Right.
when I have other games to I'm in the middle of.
So you're still
And
playing.
Overwatch, I'm always gonna be playing.
Yeah, you're always in, like you said, always in competitive mode, no matter what.
That is how I roll.
And we've had some really good matches too.
Even yesterday, yeah. I mean, we lost one yesterday, but even that one. Well, no, that was they rolled us over.
I think we just got too greedy. We're like,
Yeah.
yeah, just one more. We can do this. Nah, we should have just quit while we were ahead.
But you're right. I want to fire up Bulletstorm.
It's actually a pretty good game. I mean, it is running at 60 hertz, so it looks nice and clean. But
60 hertz.
I'm sorry, 60 hertz. Oh God, I'm thinking of TV. It's 60 frames a second.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm gonna let that go, but nah.
Come on, you know what I was talking about. But the game runs at 60 frames a second, and it looks really smooth. But I can definitely
We gotta be accurate here.
I understand why people were upset because it's to charge full price for a game that's old. That wasn't right. That wasn't cool.
We got it for free.
Have you gone back to God of War at all?
Don't they have the new game plus now?
Yes, they did give us a new game plus.
I might go back.
But
I
did,
might not though.
but did you collect everything though? See,
No.
the thing is that I like to collect everything before I start a new game plus.
I don't think I did. But it's like how much stuff can?
Well, I know there's more armor and stuff like that they gave out.
Oh, they did.
I believe so. I don't quote me on it, but I want to say they did give us new armor. And you got to collect those owls, man.
Oh, that's what. Thank you. That's what I was missing. You're right.
Owls.
I'm never gonna play it. I'm never gonna get platinum. Fuck those owls, man. You're right. I forgot about that.
I'm glad you feel the same way. 'Cause I'm like, damn it! Like I'm never going back and trying to find those things. I'm never gonna platinum it.
I mean, you have to use a guide, if anything. If
Oh,
you
no, you
really-
have to to find those things. You have to use a guide.
Yeah, I forgot all about those owls until right now. It's the only thing I'm missing. Is there a new trophy for the game plus?
Yes, I believe there is.
Do they get to be on like ultimate level or whatever that's
No,
called?
that was only Spider-Man. You beat New Game Plus and on Ultimate level.
Oh, wait, was that rough?
No, not as bad as it makes it out to seem. I mean, it's since you're already super powered anyway.
Right.
It,
Okay,
it
so
kind of,
you
it makes
carry
it
over
yeah,
your-
it makes it harder, but they just add more enemies on the screen, and it's nothing that you can't handle.
So they you carry over your powers and stuff.
Oh yeah, everything gets carried over.
Okay.
Your suits, your powers, it's amazing.
Okay,
Pun intended.
I got it. Yeah, I forgot about the goddamn owl.
Now you're gonna go back and you're gonna try to
No,
find
I'm
it.
not. Well, I hate those type of quests.
I hated that quest in Grand Theft Auto 4. You have to shoot all those pigeons.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Like, listen, Nico
Why?
Bellic has so much to worry about between his cousins and them asking him out to go out to bowling. I don't want to shoot pigeons.
And dating.
You know, the dating, the texting. You know, I gotta like, come on. I don't have time for the pigeons.
I forgot.
I know you forgot about that one.
I did.
But I'm happy to see that 2018 pretty much gave us so many good games, so many good memories. Every game that came out, and I'm talking mainly about the Video Game Awards, all of those games deserve an award. You know, Celeste and Dead Cells. Dead Cells was another good game that came out.
Didn't No Man's Sky get something?
They
Like,
got
for the fact that
nominated.
they kept supporting the game or some shit like that.
They got nominated for. Oh, I forgot what it was.
It was something like that, right? Where they
Yeah,
kept-
it was Fortnite, No Man's Sky, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege for continuous content or something like that.
Right.
And come on, we all knew that Fortnite was going to win it, but I think No Man's Sky should have gotten that game or should have gotten that award for everything that they did to that game. I mean, but you know what? Fortnite is the beast that it is. You know that you ain't going to topple Fortnite right now.
How far do you think Fortnite goes?
Okay, so it came. When did it really gain popularity?
Within 2018, I think.
Was it 2018?
I think so.
Man, we're gonna hear about Fortnite for a while because I'm thinking.
You think so?
Okay, so 2018, that's when it really blew up.
I think, in my opinion, that's one.
I think.
I think it came out in 2017.
Yeah, maybe 2020. Maybe that's when it's going to die out.
I feel like already people are kind of already like.
Well, I mean, I do honestly think they're going a little too far with trying to copy everybody's dance moves. I mean,
but that's like a. I get it, but there's nothing to do with the game.
Yeah, I mean, they're just trying to see how far they can go with it before they kind of reel it back a little.
I mean, did you ride until the wheels fall off?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're gonna try to ride that one as long as they can.
Yeah, I think 2019. I think this year
it's gonna start to die out this year, but I think by 2020 that's it. We will have moved on to another genre. I think.
Unless maybe they do something else.
Because it's usually, was it 3 to 4 years? That's when like a trend really, that's its lifespan. I think.
Okay. So that's you're willing to put your.
You know what? Yeah, I'll stick with that prediction. Because I really tried playing Fortnite. I really wanted to like that game, and I just couldn't. And I know a lot of people are, but it's such a great game. I'm sorry, I just couldn't.
Do you think we get announcements of PS5 and the next Xbox?
Yes, absolutely. Oh, and we forgot another game that that's supposed to really, really take gaming to the next level is Death Stranding.
Yeah, but that's for like PlayStation 10.
And it sucks that
who knows? I don't even.
PlayStation's not even going to E3 this year, so I don't know how they're gonna.
That's true. That's a good point.
How they're gonna do their announcements? Like, what are they gonna do? I have no idea because the only real shows that they have is PSX, and that's pretty much it, right?
I think they're just gonna do their own thing.
I think they should do their own thing because
they're gonna be in the area.
Because Nintendo has been doing very well with the
Direct.
With Nintendo Direct.
Right.
So it would only make sense for Xbox and PlayStation to kind of follow suit.
I forgot. That's a good point.
Because Nintendo Direct, you can pretty much have it whenever you want, however you want, for as long as you want.
Right.
Because I know Square Enix did the same thing too. They're doing their own show. They do their own live streams. So why wouldn't PlayStation and Xbox do the same?
Well, Xbox is going to have E3 by themselves.
Yeah, that's true. They're just going to be there by themselves. Like, they're going to have booths. Nobody else is going to have booths. It's just going to be that. That's it.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I think Sony is going to be, like, they're going to have some type of... I don't think they're just not going to show up. They're going to do, like, a Nintendo Direct or something like that.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm kind of betting on it. I hope, because for them just not to show up to E3 and just not have any sort of contingency plan, that's not smart.
I think that we're going to get... We both agree we're going to get a PS5 announcement.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty much a guarantee.
And the next Xbox as well.
What do you think their live stream is going to be called?
For PlayStation?
Yeah, because we have Nintendo Direct. I don't know what they're going to call it.
P Stream.
You know what that? Oh my god, that's actually a pretty good one. Actually, P Stream. You're really banking on that.
Yes.
You think they already secured the domain name?
I hope so. They'd have to fight some other sites for that, but who knows?
Check us out on P-Stream. Streaming now.
That's probably another type of site.
Oh, God. They're going to go to the wrong URL, and they're going to get a completely different stream than what's advertised. We've gotten to that point of the podcast where we need to say our goodbyes. It's the start of the new year. There's a lot that we want to take on. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of new content coming up. So go ahead and visit us on www.levelbasedgaming.com.
Visit us on podbean.com, on our YouTube, and subscribe to our channel, and follow us on Twitter.
And as always, my name is Felipe Prada. I'm being joined by Oscar Portillo.
And we are out.